an attacking left back, loves to get into forward areas of the pitch, loves it a bit too much, to be honest with you, because it's the defensive side of his game that hasn't been up to scratch up until this point in his Tottenham career. But I tell you what, he could have turned the corner today. Maybe the new management team in there, maybe they're putting more demands on him in terms of the defensive sides of his game. We know he can do this 1v1. He's like a left winger. He's great in the last third of the pitch. But look at this. Great defensive play, sensing the danger, getting across the pitch, wonderful interception. He's a really good athlete, he's a powerful athlete as well. There's no reason why he can't do more of this. Look at this, sensing the danger in behind. But it's more so the determination on his face here, real aggression and intensity. I haven't seen that from him in a Tottenham jersey, and this is going to be great for Tottenham going forward, because if he can incorporate this into his game, he's going to put a marker down for the left back position.
Instead of just marking men, you know, space never scores a goal. The men scores the goal. So I don't know. Well, listen, I've never been a defender, so I'll never know why. But it's good for centre forwards because they tend to just leave you sometimes and run back on the line. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, I always, when I was in that position, I was obviously deeper than Michael. I had the tendency to run back onto the line.
Not to stop. I don't necessarily see him as a number two because Solanke, you know, he at times could have been erratic last season, but I think they need competition, and I think unless you are a top number 9 that knows that they're going to be playing and scoring goals week in, week out, if you've got number 9s that you think are just below that level, they need competition and they need to be playing 60 minutes or coming on for that 30 minutes when the game has opened up. And I think in the two that Tottenham have got, they are both them type of players.
Well, Moani's coming as well, isn't he? That top-class centre-forward, I think Spurs supporters have been talking about for a long time.
Hard to get.
Yeah,
hard to get.
Tell they're talking about. But I think Tell's performance against West Ham shows he doesn't really want to play that position, doesn't like the physical contact. Moani might be an option in terms of potentially going forward. But it's that top-class centre-forward, I think Spurs supporters have been talking about for a long time.
Hard to get.
Yeah, hard to get. Still a decent season so far for Tottenham. That's just won a feed in the league and Champions League. We'll be back after these.
And we were talking, as we said, Michael, before, about it's maybe a bit of a lost art going around the goalkeeper these days, but he does it perfectly.
Yeah, wasn't my favourite finish at all. I mean, I admire people that do this. It's a real skill. Everybody has their own different way of finishing, certain ways, how you present the ball to the goalkeeper, where you place it before you decide where to put it. And he obviously had the idea that he was going to go round him quite a way out there. Wasn't my favourite finish, as I say, so I was in awe of what he did.
Now, Ayari made it 2 for Brighton, but Vicario will be disappointed when he watches this back.
He will, yeah. Of course, listen, if the ball flew straight through the air, then he would have saved it easily. It would have gone right down his throat, I'm sure. But Ayari hits it really well, and it moves in the air. And, you know, some people will totally blame the goalkeeper, some people have a bit of sympathy for him. But whichever way you look at it, you can't really be scoring from, 25 yards out on that type of angle, unless it is something really special. You've got to be looking at your goalkeeper. So whether it moved or not, I think, yeah, fingers are going to be pointed at the goalkeeper there.
He just didn't pick the flight up, did he, until the last moment? You see him jump into his left, and by that point, when you're hitting it that well, it's too late to react, even at Premier League level.
Got his goal though, Chris.
He got his goal, and I think in the end it's a little bit fortuitous, but you've got to give it to him. Right place, right time. He's a number 9. This is at the start of the game when he's perhaps just that little bit more confident, and he actually grew a little bit. Needs that type of competition.
It's his stats there for today. Kenny, what do you think on him?
Yeah, I like him as a player, but I think Tottenham need more from him. Not sure he's got it in him. I like him between the posts, his movement in the box, in that final third of the pitch. I think he will get his fair quota of goals in that respect. But
now, they made it 2-2 in the end. Did you always get the feeling that Spurs were going to get something here? Did they deserve a point at least?
Well, I think they did, yeah. I think they had the momentum, let's say. Simmons did come on and change things. This is a really wicked ball. And I think, again, dunk there, diving in front of Van Hecke, I think that's what put him off. He can't really see the ball late on. It's a wicked ball, and, you know, again, you've always got to look at the defender once they score an own goal and say, what could you have done different? But it was quite hard. He's covering his man. two of them in front, both going for the ball, and it just goes over them. And then all of a sudden,
Today, and their best attacking player, Yankuba Minteh.
It's a good option to have, don't get me wrong. He's a good number 2. I suppose that's reality. That's what we're actually saying. He won't want to hear that. It was interesting. It looks as if he could have been on his way to Crystal Palace. Frank maybe would have got him out the door, maybe pre-season if he could have. I think he's a good one to have around. I think he's a good one. He looks a little bit of sourpuss on the pitch, but I think the players like him in the dressing room. He looks a good one to have him there. And you need 2 or 3 top class in that area of the pitch. Not top class, but people you can rely. I think he's one you can rely on. But to start 30 games in the Premiership, I don't think.
We're going to have a closer look at this now.
Yep, again, so it's about ball retention, and once this ball gets wide, you want the quality of this ball in, and I thought it was a really good place. Paulinho does brilliant, I think, by going for that first one. But I think if I look at the pace of the ball, and at this stage, we spoke about it earlier, was that the amount of crosses that Tottenham got into the box, and if you're getting that amount in, you're going to get the rewards from some of them. But that was about pressure, and as I say, at that stage of the game where Tottenham were putting on a lot of pressure, then it's a really good opportunity.
Try to run there every time, and we're just successful.
And no doubt.
When I'm in a goalkeeper 1v1, I'm always confident to do this because most of the time they always think you're going to go for a shot, but if you cut it short, they don't have nothing. Yeah.
Can I also get some clarification on the warm-up? Because it looked like you had some time with the doctor. Was it touch and go whether you...
So I try to play for the team, although I have pain, but try to give it to the team, yeah.
And is it fair to say that you even wanted to continue on even longer?
Yeah, I want to stay on the pitch. I didn't want to go out, to be honest, yeah.
It's when Tottenham need him to take them up the pitch and be that focal point of the attack that Chris is talking about. I think as a defender, you size Richarlison up pretty early in the game. You know he can't really hurt you in behind in terms of his pace. That's a problem. In extra yard of pace, he's a totally different animal.
Aren't we all, Kenny?
Yeah, yeah, maybe so. But I think so. Defenders like to get tight to him, so he's got to protect that ball a lot. When he's got the number 8s, Bergvall, Pepe, Sarr, whoever they are, Bentancur looking to get themselves involved, he's got to protect. He's got to hold that ball, and it's not good enough at the moment. He needs to improve that side of his game. I think Solanke has it's there already in terms of his link-up play. Better athlete, can run in behind it.
Yankuba, how are you feeling about getting a point after that performance today?
A little bit disappointed. We want to win the game. It's not a bad thing. We have 1 point, but we need to adjust the game and then try to win games at home. It's very important.
So much success for you in the first half with the counter-attack today. What was it that you thought was working so well?
I think the team played well first half. We tried to dominate them in the middle because that's where the play is. If you win the middle, obviously you're going to have balls behind, and I try to run behind the defenders. Yeah,
but these are his qualities. We know this from a Tottenham short. He's an attacking left-back, loves to get into forward areas of the pitch, loves it a bit too much, to be honest with you, because it's the defensive side of his game that hasn't been up to scratch up until this point in his Tottenham career. But I tell you what, he could have turned the corner today. Maybe the new management team in there, maybe they're putting more demands on him in terms of the defensive side of his game. We know he can do this 1v1. He's like a left winger. He's great in the last third of the pitch. But look at this. Great defensive play, sensing the danger, getting across the pitch, wonderful interception. He's a really good athlete, he's a powerful athlete as well. There's no reason why he can't do more of this. Look at this, sensing the danger in behind. But it's more so the determination on his face here, real aggression and intensity. I haven't seen that from him in a Tottenham jersey, and this is going to be great for Tottenham going forward, because if he can incorporate this into his game, he's going to put a marker down for the left-back position.
Now, Richarlison's goal just before half-time, in the end, proved pivotal because the timing of it just gave Tottenham an important lift.
Yeah, that was crucial, to get back in the game just before half-time, because, the team talk is different then. There's a bit more positivity. There's belief that, we've shown we can score. We can get back into this game. Let's get about it the same way. And I think I saw actual more fluid moves from Spurs in that second half that maybe didn't come to fruition with regards to a goal. But they make it work. They keep finding that spare man, and Kudus is certainly shooting. Richarlison, quick reaction to make sure that he put the ball into the back of the goal. He's become a poacher, hasn't he? He's become somebody that's quite bright and lively inside that 6-yard box, and it was the important goal that probably really did change the momentum and the flow of the game.
Congratulations on the point. Thank you for
Yeah, I like like him play, but then he's got to make the box. These are the areas where he's got to retain into that box, particularly when there's not really that many bodies in there. Again, ball in. This is a good side of him. You know, runs. Never really sort of fancied himself, particularly on that left-hand side. But it's about ball retention. We all know that he's got that strength, and he can keep possession. But it's about the next phase, you know. And there he's got to make better decisions to move this ball quickly. Here is an ideal one. Loses possession. This is a Tottenham side that need that link-up play, particularly with the crosses that they get into the box. Gets himself back into the box, but needs to manoeuvre his body just that little bit better.